Next, I ask if you wanted to look at only one column, you have to somehow drill down to it inside the data frame. So what do I mean by that? So sometimes it's not necessary to look at all the data like this. Maybe I just want to know which jobs are represented here. Or I just want to sort of quickly check what are the ages of the people. So I know there's a variable called age, and I just want to look at that variable. Or maybe I want to use a function. Let's say I'm going to want to calculate the mean of the age of the people inside this data frame. Then obviously I'm not going to tell R to calculate the mean on the whole data frame, because that would not make sense. We couldn't calculate the mean of names and age at the same time. So you would have to be able to tell R that you're not looking at the whole data frame now, you want to look at only one of the variables. So that's what we're doing here. And it makes sense. You can see demo data, we still have the object name, because not long from now we're going to read in another data file. Then we'll have two of these data objects inside our working directory or inside our folder. We're going to give the second one a different name, so we won't get confused, but R then would need to know if I said I want the mean of age and the other data frame also had an age variable in it, then how would R know which one I'm looking for? So I have to give it the name of the object and then also the name of the column. So the column I care about right now is age. So you can see object name, age, and then in between you see the $sign. So that is basically how we tell R which column we're going to use. We use the $sign to tell it, to give it the name of the column. Another way we can do it is by giving it the number of the column. So you see a 3 here, and that makes sense because this is the third column. Number is the first column, names ZA is the second column, and age is the third column. Remember I said this is not a column in your data. These numbers that's R providing just row numbers. So that's not actually in your data. So age is actually the third column in our data. And so that's how we would specify this in R. So now we're using square brackets. Remember I said before, round brackets and square brackets do completely different things in R. So this is what square brackets are for. We call it subsetting, or this thing that we're doing now, telling R which variable we care about. So again, we see a comma here. So where there's a comma, it means we're separating two different things. In this case, there's nothing in front of the comma. How R interprets that is that we want everything. So remember I said that in R, it always prints rows first and columns second. So whenever you're going to specify a specific row or column that you want to see or that you want to do something with, you must also give it like that. You're also going to give rows first and columns second. In this case, it just looks strange. This is in place of the rows, in front of the comma. That is the place of the rows. If you put nothing there, R is going to use all the rows. It assumes that you want to know something about all the rows. Then there's a comma to separate the two, and then you specify the column you care about. I already said age is the third column, that's why it's a 3, and that's how R knows that that's what you want to do. So let me show you. If I run demo data $age, this is what we get. And if you scroll back up, you can see that indeed is the age column. starts with 27, 23, 24, and so you can see that's what's happening here. It started printing 27, 23, 24. And like I said before, R is going to provide numbers for you. Just the numbers of results, basically. So it starts with 1 because this is the first thing in the result it's printing. Then here it's not 2, but it's 21 because this 29 here is the 21st thing in this row of numbers that it's giving you. So that's what it's going to look like if you print the column like that. This thing sort of does the same thing. It chooses the same column, but if you run it, you can see it looks a little bit different. It's this same tidyverse package again. It's calling this a tibble again. It's giving you the name of the column, but this time it says it's got 50 rows and 1 column, and it prints again only the first 10. It doesn't print the whole thing for you. So that's just the difference. It does the same thing, it just prints it differently. And you'll get used to it, and you'll get used to which one you want, depending on what it is that you want to do.